Archaeologists in Egypt are making remarkable discoveries that teach us more and more about the life and culture of ancient Egypt. Recent finds have revealed tombs with stunning artifacts and intricate wall paintings, offering insights into burial practices, social structures, and daily activities. These discoveries span various periods of Egyptian history, highlighting the complexity and richness of this ancient civilization. From tombs of unknown rulers to those filled with mummies and vibrant artwork, each find contributes to our understanding of Egypt's past. Join us as we take you through the world of ancient Egypt, where each excavation reveals more about this fascinating history. Number 1. Ancient discoveries in 63 burial sites. Archaeologists in Egypt have uncovered over 60 ancient burials, along with bronze coins and gold foil figurines, as reported by the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. The excavation took place in Damietta, a city on Egypt's northern Mediterranean coast. Some graves date back to 688 to 525 BC, while others are from the Ptolemaic 304 to 30 BC. Among the artifacts discovered were pottery pieces and shabti figurines, which were traditionally intended to serve the deceased in the afterlife. The team focused on a collection of 38 bronze coins found inside a pottery vessel dating to the Ptolemaic era, a period when descendants of one of Alexander the Great's generals ruled Egypt. According to the director of the Center for Alexandrian Studies, many coins feature engravings of Zeus Ammon, a deity combining aspects of the Greek god Zeus and the Egyptian god Amun. Around 206 BC, Egypt experienced a major revolt against the Ptolemaic dynasty, leading to a widespread burying of coin hoards. Although it remains uncertain if these newly discovered coins were buried during this revolt, further excavation could provide clarity. These finds are particularly significant due to the scarcity of material from this era in the region. Number 2. Egyptian fragments unearthed. Egyptian archaeologists have discovered 2 granite statue fragments from the mortuary temple of King Amenhotep III, who ruled Egypt for 39 years in the 14th century BC. The fragments were unearthed during a routine excavation on the temple's north side, located on the west bank of the Nile in Luxor. This funerary complex was once the largest in Egypt, although the temple itself was eventually destroyed, with its blocks repurposed for other constructions. The first statue fragment is a nearly 2.7 meters tall head of Hapi, the baboon-faced god. The second fragment is part of a larger statue depicting King Amenhotep III's legs. Given the abundance of statues found in this area of the temple, scientists suggest that it might have served as a burial site for damaged statues. These statues held ritual significance and could not be destroyed, so the ancient Egyptians likely chose to bury them. Excavators continue to work around the temple to uncover more statues. Number 3. Pink granite sarcophagus. Stone sarcophagus has been discovered belonging to an official named Ta-Imwea, whose mummified remains were stolen by grave robbers long ago. The pink granite coffin was found near the pyramid of King Unas at Saqqara, an ancient city known for its extensive necropolises. According to hieroglyphs inscribed on the sarcophagus, Ta-Imwea lived during the reign of Ramesses II. The inscriptions reveal that Ta-Imwe supervised the temple's livestock, oversaw its treasury, and was responsible for the divine offerings to all the gods. Despite his close association with the temple, Ta-Imwea's coffin was not located nearby. Instead, it was placed next to a pyramid constructed 1,000 years earlier. This practice was not uncommon, as many ancient Egyptians desired to be buried near the sacred sites of earlier pharaohs. Although the sarcophagus was looted in antiquity, traces of resin indicate a mummy once lay inside. The coffin features hieroglyphs seeking protection for the deceased, including depictions of Horus, the falcon-headed god of the sky. No other artifacts were found with the coffin. Number 4. Tomb filled with mummies. Tomb belonging to a goldsmith named Amenemhat and his wife Amenhotep has been discovered at the ancient cemetery of Dra Abu el Naga in Luxor, according to the Egyptian Antiquities Ministry. The tomb contains the remains of several mummies, wooden coffins, skeletal remains, pottery, and small statues. Photos released by the ministry also show jewelry and shabti figurines, which were meant to perform tasks for the deceased in the afterlife. The couple lived during the 18th dynasty in the 15th century BC, a time when Egypt was unified under a single pharaoh and was gaining power. The tomb was later reused during the 21st and 22nd dynasties, 11th and 10th centuries BC, a period called the Third Intermediate Period, when Egypt was occasionally divided and partly ruled by Libyan groups. Number 5. Mummification supplies unearthed. A team of Egyptian and Czech Egyptologists has discovered a cache of embalming equipment in a cemetery at the site of Abusir in Egypt. Abusir, known for its ancient necropolis, is located 25 kilometers south of Cairo. The cache was found near several ancient tombs and consists of about 370 large pottery storage vessels. According to an Egyptology professor at Charles University in the Czech Republic and director of the Abusir mission, experts will analyze these jars to determine what liquids or materials they contained and how they were used in the mummification process. The cache also includes a set of empty canopic jars, traditionally used to store the organs of the deceased. These jars bear inscriptions identifying them as belonging to a man named Wahibre Mary Neith, the son of Lady Irturu. However, the identity of Wahibre Mary Neith and the reason for the empty jars in the cache remain unknown. Suggestions that the jars might have been symbolic and used during mummification rituals to represent the 4 sons of Horus, a god often depicted as a falcon. These sons, Imseti, Hapi, Duamutef, and Kebsenuef, were associated with the liver, lungs, stomach, and intestines, respectively, as noted by the British Museum in London. The cache was found near several large tombs, and embalming caches are commonly located near significant burial sites. Archaeologists suspect that another undiscovered tomb may be nearby, and they plan to conduct further excavations. Number 6. 13 mummy coffins. Archaeologists have discovered over 13 ancient Egyptian coffins stacked on top of each other within a burial well at the desert necropolis of Saqqara. The 2 wooden coffins are remarkably well preserved, with intricate designs painted in blue, gold, white, black, and red still visible. The identities of the individuals buried within these sealed coffins remain unknown, as archaeologists have not yet opened them. The coffins were found in a well that measures nearly 11 meters deep. There are indications that more coffins might be discovered within niches along the sides of the well. These coffins represent the largest find at Saqqara since October 2019, when 30 wooden coffins were uncovered in a cache at the Al-Asasif cemetery within the necropolis. Number 7. Cat mummies and statues. The ancient Egyptians appear to have been fond of cats, as evidenced by recent archaeological findings. Researchers have uncovered several mummified cats and around 100 wooden cat statues in a tomb complex near the pyramid of Pharaoh Uzakaf, who ruled from 2291 BC to 2289 BC. Located near Saqqara, the burial site seems to have been used for cat burials between 717 BC and 332 BC. Archaeologists have found tens of mummified cats, along with gilded wooden statues that likely date to the same period. Additionally, a bronze statue of Bastet, the Egyptian goddess often depicted as a cat, was discovered. In mythology, Bastet was both a protective goddess who warded off evil and a deity associated with music, dancing, and pleasure. The site yielded numerous other finds, including statues of a lion, cow, falcon, and crocodile. 2 mummified scarab beetles were found in boxes, and 2 mummified cobras were discovered in cobra-shaped sarcophagi. Human mummies, remnants of human tombs, stone engravings, and artifacts like baskets, ropes, and jars made of clay, alabaster, and bronze were also uncovered. Number 8. Pyramid of an unknown queen. Archaeologists have discovered the pyramid of a previously unknown ancient Egyptian queen, along with a cache of coffins, mummies, and artifacts at Saqqara, an archaeological site in Giza about 32 kilometers south of Cairo. This excavation, ongoing for the past 2 years, has recently unearthed remains that may belong to some of King Tutankhamun's closest generals and advisors who lived during his reign from 1333 BC to 1323 BC. The team also examined a nearby pyramid belonging to Teti, the first king of Egypt's 6th dynasty. According to an Egyptologist involved in the excavation, Teti was worshipped as a god during the New Kingdom period, prompting many to seek burial near him. Although most known burials at Saqqara were from the Old Kingdom or late period, the team discovered 22 interconnected shafts, ranging from 9 to 18 meters deep, filled with New Kingdom burials. This period, also known as the Egyptian Empire, lasted from the 16th to the 11th century BC. Within these shafts, archaeologists found a huge limestone sarcophagus and 300 beautiful coffins from the New Kingdom period. The coffins are unique to the site, as New Kingdom burials were not previously common in this area. Each coffin is individually decorated, distinguishing between men and women with unique faces and scenes from the Book of the Dead, an ancient Egyptian funerary text. Additionally, each coffin includes the name of the deceased and depictions of the 4 sons of Horus, who were believed to protect the deceased's organs. Number 9. Sphinx paws. A surprising archaeological discovery happened in Israel. The front legs of an Egyptian sphinx linked to Menkaure, a pharaoh who built one of the Giza pyramids. The statue fragment was unearthed at Haza, a UNESCO World Heritage Site located just north of the Sea of Galilee. Between the paws is a hieroglyphic inscription bearing Menkaure's name. Menkaure, also known as Mycerinus, ruled during Egypt's Old Kingdom over 4,000 years ago. Researchers believe that Egypt had no direct relationship with Israel during Menkaure's reign, so the Sphinx was likely brought to Israel later, in the 2nd millennium BC. The inscription includes the phrase, "beloved by the divine manifestation that gave him eternal life." A leading archaeologist from Hebrew University suggests this descriptor indicates the Sphinx may have originated in Heliopolis, the ancient center of sun worship, now mostly buried under Cairo. The part lion, part human Sphinx was a mythical creature depicted in art across the ancient Near East, India, and Greece. This discovery is the first ever Sphinx fragment associated with Menkaure and the only royal Egyptian Sphinx found in Israel, as per a Hebrew University statement. The statue fragment was discovered near the city palace in a layer dating to Hazor's destruction by the Canaanites in the 13th century BC. Researchers proposed 2 theories for how the Sphinx arrived in Israel. It could have been brought during the 17th to 16th centuries BC, when the Hyksos, a people from northern Canaan, controlled part of Egypt. Alternatively, it may have been a gift from an Egyptian king during the 15th to 13th centuries BC, when Egypt controlled much of Canaan through a network of vassal states. At that time, Hazor was a significant city in the southern Levant, spanning 80 hectares and home to around 20,000 people. Number 10. Mummified mice and birds. A recently unearthed tomb in Egypt contains a remarkable collection of about 50 mummified animals, including mice, falcons, cats, and dogs. Inscriptions reveal that the tomb was built around 2,000 years ago for a man named Tutu and his wife, Tashirit Iziz. The tomb's entrance was discovered in October 2018 after authorities apprehended looters attempting to tunnel into a nearby dig site. Upon entering the tomb, archaeologists and ministry officials found a beautifully preserved burial chamber adorned with brightly colored paintings of Egyptian gods and funerary rituals. While Egyptian burial sites often include mummified household pets, the mice, falcons, and other animals were likely votive offerings rather than pets buried with the deceased. Number 11. 4,500-year-old tomb. Archaeologists have made a groundbreaking discovery in the necropolis of Saqqara, located about 20 miles south of Cairo. They have unveiled an ancient Egyptian tomb carved into rock over 4,000 years ago. Among the discoveries were the remains of a human buried with a vividly colored mask and a burial site for a small child from the Second Dynasty. Additional findings included a stela, a carved stone slab identifying a man named Heroides, as well as various amulets and pieces of broken pottery. Number 12. Ancient Sun Temple. Archaeologists have discovered the remains of a temple dedicated to the Egyptian sun god Ra at Abu Ghurab, about 20 kilometers south of Cairo. This sun temple represents a period when the cult of the sun reached its peak. The newly uncovered sun temple, constructed from mud bricks, measured at least 60 meters long and 20 meters wide. Number 13. City of the Dead. Archaeologists have discovered a maze-like pathway leading to the burial chamber of an ancient Egyptian priest located just south of a pyramid builder's necropolis. Tomb contains the remains of Ruj-Ka, a priest who served the pharaoh Khafre and his mortuary cult. Number 14. Embalming Workshop. Archaeologists at Saqqara have identified numerous embalming ingredients used in ancient Egyptian mummification, revealing a complex process that involved materials from distant lands. This site contained about 100 ceramic vessels from the 26th dynasty. A study used chemical analysis to identify these substances, uncovering ingredients like elemi tree resin from the Philippines, pistacia resin from Africa and Eurasia, and beeswax. The embalmers' chemical knowledge was impressive. They knew which substances were antifungal and could protect skin from bacteria. The discovery also highlights the extensive trade networks of the time, as embalmers sourced non-native ingredients, indicating a sophisticated exchange of materials. Number 15. Golden Boy Mummy. CT scans of the ancient Egyptian Golden Boy mummy have revealed 49 amulets, many made of gold, hidden within the wrappings. The mummy earned its nickname due to this display of wealth, including a gilded head mask. Researchers estimate he was about 14 or 15 years old when he died, as his wisdom teeth had not yet emerged. Discovered in 1916 at a cemetery in southern Egypt, the Golden Boy has been stored in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. The mummy was placed inside 2 coffins, one with a Greek inscription. CT scans identified amulets in various shapes and sizes, including a 2-finger amulet next to the uncircumcised penis, a golden heart scarab inside the thoracic cavity, and a golden tongue inside the mouth. The mummy also wore sandals and was draped with a garland of ferns. The amulets were believed to protect and provide benefits in the afterlife. For example, the golden tongue enabled speech, and the sandals allowed walking in the afterlife. The heart scarab, inscribed with the Book of the Dead verses, was crucial for judgment in the afterlife, symbolizing rebirth and ensuring silence during judgment. Number 16. Mummies with golden tongues. Archaeologists in Egypt have discovered mummies with gold tongues in an ancient cemetery near Quesna, about 56 kilometers north of Cairo. The find includes several mummies buried in wooden coffins, along with grave goods such as necklaces, pottery, and gold artifacts shaped like lotus flowers and scarabs. Mummies with gold tongues were common during the Greco-Roman period, which lasted from about 332 BC, when Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, to AD 395, when the Roman Empire split for the final time. According to Salima Ikram, a professor of Egyptology at the American University in Cairo, the mummies likely date to various times within this period. During the Greco-Roman period, Egyptians also believed that gold tongues and eyes would enable the deceased to speak, see, and taste in the afterlife. Number 17. Tunnels beneath an ancient temple. Archaeologists in Egypt have discovered a vast tunnel beneath a temple in the ancient city of Taposiris Magna, located west of Alexandria. This 305-meter-long tunnel, constructed to supply water to thousands of people, was found by an Egyptian Dominican archaeological team. At the time of its construction, Taposiris Magna had a population of 15,000 to 20,000 people, and the tunnel lay beneath a temple honoring Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of the underworld, and Isis, his wife. Number 18. Egyptian tombs built into the hillside. Archaeologists have uncovered more than 30 ancient Egyptian tombs on a hill in Aswan, an ancient city along the Nile. These burials, dating back to the Greco-Roman period, provide valuable insights into the people who once lived in this bustling trading port. The discoveries include mummies, likely of families buried together, as well as coffins, cartonnage, amphorae, clay vessels, decorated with vine leaf designs, and artifacts like offering tables. Aswan was a key location for trade between northern Africa and subtropical Africa throughout the history of ancient Egypt. Archaeologists first learned about the burial site in 2015, following a series of illegal excavations. The government then commissioned a survey, leading to the discovery of tombs from the late Greek and Roman periods, roughly 332 BC to AD 395. Number 19. Cemetery holding rare papyrus. A 3,500-year-old cemetery has been uncovered at Tuna al-Gebel in central Egypt that contains a Book of the Dead papyrus. This cemetery dates back to the New Kingdom, circa 1550 to 1070 BC, and includes mummies, sarcophagi, amulets, and shabti figurines intended to serve the deceased in the afterlife. The papyrus, measuring 13 to 15 meters long, was found during excavations that began in 2017. The Book of the Dead is a modern term for texts that guided the deceased through the underworld, also known as the Book of Coming Forth by Day. Egyptologists have noted that finding such a papyrus in its original grave is very rare. Number 20. Egyptian wall painting. Archaeologists in Egypt have uncovered a tomb at Dashur, 20 miles south of Cairo, featuring vivid wall paintings depicting daily life in ancient Egypt. This mud brick tomb, or mastaba, has a rectangular structure with a flat roof and sloping sides. The paintings show scenes like donkeys threshing grain, ships sailing the Nile, and goods being sold at a market. Hieroglyphics identify the tomb's owners as Seneb-neb-Af, a royal palace official, and his wife Edet, a priestess of Hathor. That's all we've got for you today. Let me know in the comments what your favorite discovery of ancient Egypt is. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, and like the video to stay updated with the new content we've got coming. See you in the next one.